This is the Heart of LAFC Podcast, episode 100.
The City of Angels is black and gold. You are listening to the Heart of LAFC Podcast. And now, here are your hosts, Jerry Jimenez and Joseph Zacher.
What is up? Welcome to the Heart of LAFC Podcast. My name is Jerry Jimenez, your host, your friend, your insider into the Los Angeles Football Club. Thank you for joining us for episode 100. Finally here, episode 100 of the Heart of LAFC. Mr. Joseph Zacher, how are you, sir?
Feeling nostalgic, man. This is good.
How so? How are you feeling nostalgic? Why,
Dude,
though?
episode 100, man.
I know.
We've been through a lot. And a lot of good, a little bad, but a heck of a lot more good than anything else. And being here today, dude, it's awesome. We're finally back on. We're doing our thing. It's coming off a win. Yeah, back to normal.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm pretty excited about this episode because, unfortunately, as you guys know, we weren't able to do this to recap the Galaxy game, so we're going to kind of do it a little bit today. Let me get rid of something that's here on the screen. If you guys are listening on the podcast, there may be some things that we say today because we're live right now as we're recording. Mm-hmm. We have a few people here joining us, and so you may hear some things that may make no sense, but if you go and watch it on YouTube, we'll have the recap, the recap video on there. So basically what you're listening to right now, you can actually watch us as we're doing it. But yeah, man, I wanted to start off episode 100 just by saying thank you to everybody that has listened to us, to everyone that has come up to us in person, that has donated, that has, basically bought some gear, some T-shirt. I'm wearing my Stay Golden T-shirt and, a pin. Those that have taken stickers from us and put them in prominent places. Thank you guys so very much. Episode 100 is dedicated to you guys. That's what the Heart of LAFC is all about. We are about the community. We're about the heart of the club, which is us, the supporters. And we are honored to count ourselves amongst you beautiful people and happy to just be doing this with you guys, man. I think, from the beginning, I didn't think that I would get to 100, honestly. And we've had lots of ups and downs, some rocky moments there because life happens. We don't get paid to do this, as you guys know. We do it because we love you guys, because we love this community, because we love LAFC. And so this is just kind of something that Joseph and I started doing, because we're going to do this anyways. It just wasn't going to be transmitted to anybody because we would literally just call each other and talk about LAFC, right, Joe?
Dude, yeah, I don't. How many times have we started getting lost in a conversation before the record button even hits hit, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's just
like
what
today.
we do. We talk football. There's texts going back pretty much every day about something else going on with the club, something international. There's always something to laugh about when it comes to football. It's a cruel game, so there's always funny things that we're dealing with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we can't help it. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk football. It's just cool now that we get to share it with everybody else and.
Yeah.
A really cool environment, and we've got a team now that's putting this together, and it's brilliant. And again, meeting everybody, that's the coolest part. Being a supporter is one thing, right? I love being a supporter, but it's been eye-opening now that we're doing this podcast to talk with everybody, whether it's at the tailgates, walking through the stadium, just seeing who the community is. Dude, it's uplifting for us, and we're beyond thankful that you guys would take the time even to listen to what we have to say. Yep. And to participate. It's too awesome, and we love where it's going, and we don't want to change. We like doing this, so we're gonna keep doing it.
Yeah, and as we are doing this live, especially on YouTube, if you guys check it out. So Monster Thruster, who's watching us right now, left us a message. He says, "Congrats on the 100." Thank you, sir. And so we will take some of your comments. LAFC Central, what's up, man? He says, episode 100. So, just people jumping on here. Go ahead and leave us your comments. We're going to throw them. If you have any questions or anything like that. Gio says, hello again, fellas. Nice to have you on, Gio. So go ahead and throw your questions there on the chat. To if you're watching it to your right, I think it is. So technically it's that way, if I'm doing that right. If you're watching, somewhere over there. But as you can see also, I'm excited to show you guys. We need to get Joseph a better camera, but Joseph has Joseph has his background now. Looking good, man. I really enjoy it. You get to put your scarves up there.
Yeah. I had way too much time on my hands, guys. Can you tell? Uh, family life. They're on vacation, so guess what I'm doing? Yeah, so I've had a great time putting everything up, going over all the cool stuff, and again, being nostalgic as I'm putting this up, because honestly, every one of these scarves, especially the international ones, they all have a story behind them. So it's cool. It's cool. Even the little mini World Cup balls in the back, like I get a chance to bring out some of my old stuff. And you're gonna see some weird stuff pop up every week because I just have it and might as well toss it out there for everybody else to see. But yeah, man, now it feels complete. I'm not sitting in my living room with some weird like can painting behind me. It's
Yeah,
actually football. So
it's
yeah,
nice.
it's good. It's good.
I like it. All right, so as we're celebrating episode 100, we had a couple of people actually call us, some very special people to us, and very good friends, part of the LAFC pod fam, and they gave us a call and left us a voicemail. So we're gonna go ahead and play those for you guys now. We're just gonna get these things out of the way, the celebrations, and we'll jump into the game. All right. So we'll give some time for people who are on YouTube that are just coming in. You are not missing anything. We're just kind of celebrating the fact that we're at 100. Which, by the way, 100 ain't nothing in the podcast universe. We will get to 500 before you know it. So, but I mean, this is a milestone, and we got to celebrate. It's fun, and also we're at a good point in the club's history, I think, to also celebrate it. So why not? And any reason to celebrate and have a party with us. So this is a voicemail from. Well, we'll let them say who it is. Here we go.
Yo, Gary, Joseph, this is the FCFC pod, giving you guys a call. We're recording our pod right now. This is some pod-on-pod meta action. And you know what? More than anything, I wanted to call and congratulate you guys because you're almost on episode 100. Yeah, man, showing the love. Look, my question for you is this. What's episode 200 going to sound like? Ooh. How many trophies will we have won by then? Ooh. What kind of players will be on the roster? What other changes in the LAFC universe will there be?
Beautiful. What's your favorite flavor ice cream? Yeah. And Joseph, how'd you lose all that weight? Because I really want to know. Seriously, that's incredible. Alex, is there anything you like to add? We love you guys. Shanye? What's your favorite dinosaur? Nothing? And what are you drinking nowadays? I haven't heard the beer sponsor in a minute. Yeah.
And most importantly, Jerry, when are you coming on the FCFC pod, bro?
Hey. You have a good night, y'all.
Joseph, you're welcome to come.
You guys are fucking great. Yeah, come back, Joseph. Your episode is too short.
Shout out to the pod fathers.
Peace.
Nice. That was the boys from FCFC pod.
Thank you, brothers.
Guys. Thank you, guys. Yeah, that was awesome. So to answer your questions, pistachio. What's yours?
Ooh.
Yeah.
My wife likes pistachio. I'm gonna say not eating ice cream, but not honestly.
Yeah. So also another one that is I would say my
cherry.
favorite.
Cherry is good.
Cherry's good.
Good stuff.
All right. Well, dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Velociraptors has always been my favorite. I don't know about you.
Only there was a footballsaurus, right?
Footballsaurus.
I dig stegosauruses, right? Stegosauruses are cool.
Yeah. Nice, short to the small and small, but kind of compact and close to the ground. You know, spiky thingies on their back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that their?
Maybe
that's
an
a
ankylosaurus because it's got a boot, right? It can crack stuff, so that works for me.
And when am I coming on the show? Soon, man. Thank you for the invite. We'll definitely, now you call me out, I'll definitely have to come on. I know we've kind of talked about it, but your episode, by the way, Joseph, was amazing. And they're saying you need to go back on. So also,
dude, we got to go on. Dude, the drinks are going to be flowing. We got to go back.
Yeah. And as you're talking about, your episode, you also had a great episode with the Shoulder to Shoulder guys. Who? What a great episode! It actually was 2 because you talk so darn much. But we all,
dude, to get me started.
Yeah, I know that's what happened. All right, and talking about Shoulder to Shoulder guys, they also called and left us a voicemail. So let's see what they had to say here. Let me see if I can play this real quick.
Jerry and Joseph, this is Christian.
And Chris.
Jerry and Joseph, this is Christian.
And Chris.
Jerry and Joseph, this is Christian.
Chris.
And Jonathan from Shoulder to Shoulder Podcast. We wanted to congratulate you on reaching your 100th episode.
On behalf of all of us at the LAFC podcasting community, thank you for paving the way for all of us.
As our first podcast centurions, we salute you.
Oh no, having audio difficulties. Sorry to those guys.
Uh-oh.
Apparently it's not playing it for some reason. Let me try it one more time. See if this works. Let me see. You know what it is? I think our internet isn't the greatest, but hey, it's okay. Let's see. See if this time it works.
Jerry and Joseph, this is Christian.
Chris.
And Jonathan from Shoulder to Shoulder Podcast. We wanted to congratulate you on reaching your 100th episode.
On behalf of all of us at the LAFC podcasting community, thank you for paving the way for all of us.
As our first podcast centurions, we salute you.
Keep up the good work, boys. We'll get there one day. Take it easy, guys. Congrats.
Congrats.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Thank you, brothers.
Man. Centurion. Making us all...
Wow, dude.
We're
That would
old.
be you more than me, man. You
We're
started
old.
this thing, Podfather. I mean, yeah,
that
no
name
doubt.
that name is sticking, isn't it? I'm gonna just write it, man.
is.
I'm gonna just use it. I'm gonna change my
I had got,
my name.
you
on
know what I
Instagram.
had in the past, so now it's your turn to get nicknames.
Mhm. Yeah.
I'm gonna say this, dude. The boys have probably the coolest studio that I've ever seen for podcasting. It's, dude, go on. It's cool, super cool. And Jonathan Reamer, like I thought I had like the smooth jazz voice, dude. He just put me to shame, dude. He is like the best voice.
He has a
for the
great
podcast
voice.
community.
I agree.
Just gonna say.
I agree. He did put you to shame. Sorry, dude. It was great. It was great.
And the
man.
hammers are amazing, which I still need to get it to you, sir.
Yeah, I was listening. I'm like, I wonder when he's gonna talk about that pin that.
Golden hammers.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
they're too awesome.
Very
Too
cool.
awesome. But thank you, boys. Thank you for the well wishes and the love. And dude, it was an honor to come on your show. And soon enough, we'll be celebrating your episode 100, and then you're gonna get it because I'm gonna get you on that one too.
Yep. Sounds great, man. I'm getting a little emotional here. No, it's awesome. I really appreciate you guys' voicemails. And then everybody that reached out also, they were saying, happy 100. The Defenders of the Bank boys also gave us a shout out on their show. So thank you guys. We did listen. We listened to all the pods, even all the new ones. Barely now. I'm running out of time to listen to podcasts. So if anybody else wants to start pods, now's the time to get in if you want me to listen to it. I'm just going to let you know. There's already so many of them. No, we love all of them, man. We're just honored to be a part of it and stoked that it's 100. So, yeah, man. You think that's enough? Should we just jump into what we're here for? Jump into the actual football? What do you say?
Well, from celebrating to analyzing the match, it's what we do. So let's do it.
Let's do it, man. All right. So, quick recap of the Galaxy game. The Los Angeles Football Club dropped their third regular season contest of the season as the club fell 3-2 to the Galaxy on Friday night at Dignity Health Sports Park. I don't know what they call it, the Diggity or something. I don't know. Despite the loss, the club remains in first place in the Supporter Shield standings with a 14-3-4 record. That was at the time of that game, by the way. All right, 46 points. We're a little bit higher than that now. Following his 2-goal performance, Carlos Vela became the fourth player in MLS history to record at least 20 goals, 10 assists in one season. Fastest player ever to score 20 goals to start a campaign. And despite the fact that he got 2 goals, LAFC would drop all 3 points after Galaxy forward Zlatan Ibrahimovic netted a hat trick for the home side. We all know how that goes. For some reason, he decides to show up, once in a while. So annoying, but it is what it is. Joseph, I don't want to talk too much about this game. We kind of want to go past it. There was a lot of things that happened, but go ahead and jump into some stats for these people, please.
The semi-meaningless stats of the game that we won't forget. Yes. Some interesting takes. We actually had an advantage, 58-42 on possession, which is kind of obvious when you're playing a team that's counterattack and hoof it to the big star, right? I mean, that's what it is. 16-12 on shots, but here's the telling thing. And, of course, this is always what kills us in these games. We only had 5 of those on target. They had 8.
Yeah.
So in terms of shots on goal, the ones that matter, yeah, we got outshot. Passing, we had 408 completed passes to 287. Again, that makes sense when a team's just absorbing pressure. 83 to 74 in pass success rate. Again, they're hoofing the ball, so how accurate are you going to be? This is interesting. We had 9 fouls. They had 19. Well, we know that. We're getting hacked to death. Once again, it's what they do. It's what they do best. Duels. This is interesting because honestly, I felt that we got out-dueled in the game big time, especially in the important moments. They only had a 64 to 61 advantage. Honestly, though, I think it felt like a lot more, and I think in pressure situations, they did get the best of us when it came to duels. No doubt about it. So that's where it is on the stats. If you're looking where the possession was at, yes, we were on their half way more than they were on ours. It's just they were more effective with the chances that they had. I think Zlatan had 7 total shots, something like that. Again, they only have 8 shots on target, and 7 of them were his, right? It is what it is, right?
Yeah, it is what it is. One of the things that you were saying, Joseph, is that we need a big.
Gave him too much room, and he punished us for it.
Yeah, you were saying.
Again, I don't get it. Yeah.
You were saying that we need a big game keeper. You can't be timid in these matches, sort of thing. If anybody gets a header in your area, they have to pay a price for it. So I'm reading some of your notes here as it looks like you look scary right now, and you're kind of freezing up a little bit. But there, you're back. Yeah, and so just a couple of notes that you were saying, right? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by we need a big game keeper? You don't think that we have a big game keeper right now?
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, like we have in the works.
And I think it's going to take work. He's young, but he has the potential. I mean, that Open Cup match against Portland showed that. Yeah. He could pull a game out if he really needed. We didn't give him enough support in that match to get through it, but that kind of performance tells me he has it in him. I have not seen that from Tyler Miller at all since he's made some good saves, right? He's a good goalkeeper. But I'm talking big game. I'm talking rivalry matches. We need the guy that steps up in the pressure situations, not against the little teams. I'm talking big games. Yeah. We've only had a few big games, and it's usually against our arch rival. And in every one of those games, he's come up timid. He hasn't been aggressive. If a ball's floating up in your box, the last thing you ever want to do is show up in no man's land. Either you have a choice. You go back into your goal and try to play off of a bounce because you might attempt to bounce, or you get in there and you wreck him for it. Yeah. It's that simple. You have to contest the play. You can't make it comfortable. I think Cisniego was out there that play, the way the ball would go into him hard. I think most experienced keepers would do that in that situation, is you make guys pay if they're going to try to get a header in the box. You just have to do it. If your defenders can't do it, you're going to do it. Yeah. And it didn't happen. Basically, he went in between two worlds on that play and ended up watching it go in.
Yeah. All right.
That simply went vertical, but did nothing with it.
Yeah. Man.
So that's one thing.
Okay, you're gonna keep.
The other thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say keep going, please, because there's a lot of notes you have here. Keep going.
Yeah. So we need to remind jerks that they're jerks, especially ones that have bad knees and surgically repaired knees.
That's a great.
Remind them that they have surgically repaired knees. Okay. Portland did it early and often in their last match against them, and what did he do after the fact? Interesting. He felt mortal and he slowed down. He knocked the crap off, right? This is the kind of player that's quick to give, and he doesn't like getting it back. He doesn't like the grass stains. Loves doing it, loves hurting people, loves hitting people, thinks he's a big shot when he does it. But at what point was he on his back in this game? At what point did we put him to the ground? How many grass stains did he get on his jersey in this game? I didn't notice much of anything. We didn't knock him down. We didn't play it ugly with him, but he's throwing our guys all over the place. You got to handle a bully the way you handle a bully, right?
Absolutely.
That's how it goes. And if the guy has a weak point, utilize it. Portland did it, and it works. It works, especially in a rivalry match. This is a rivalry match. It's not about being cute. It's not about getting the results. You do whatever you can to get them. That simple.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, beyond that, of course, not having enough sandpaper all the time. We struggle when teams flood the midfield and focus on the counter, especially in the system that we have. We have a choice in that matter. Either you focus getting guys up into the midfield, or you drop some people back to make passing lanes work. You can't just play the same thing when they flood the midfield.
Well, and it's even
They
worse.
see a three-man midfield, they know what's going to happen.
Joseph, it's even worse when the midfield is not showing up too. And I think for this specific game, our midfield was not to be found, and it was unfortunate. You know, our midfield, who we count on to be there at all times, just had a hard time this game. What do we?
It was physical.
Yeah, it was very physical, and what do we account that to is they were prepared, and I think they did flood it. They flooded the midfield in such a way that we were unable to control the ball like Mark Anthony Kaye's used to controlling the ball through the center there, or you know, whatever we have to do in the midfield. Atuesta as well. I mean, you know, and who was in there? Blessing, I think, on the side as well, right? So it wasn't.
Yeah, Blessing. Yeah.
That in itself was like, what are you doing? He should have come in maybe later in the game. I can see that, but I don't think he should have started this game. That's just me. I don't know.
No, I don't either.
Think. Okay.
I think, honestly, in a game like this where it's very congested and ultimately muddled in the midfield, you need a player that can control tempo and actually slow the game down a bit to maintain some possession and then restart your attack, not just go all guns blazing. Best guy for that would be, of course, Lee Win, because he knows how to track back as well as come up. He has the two-way play that Blessing tends to not use because Blessing's plays so high. So if you're overloading a midfield and one of your midfielders is playing way high, now you're down to two guys getting the work done.
Yep.
And that can't happen. And we saw what happened in this match. So the thought has to be, what are we going to do about that? How are we going to get things settled when we go into playoff games where every match is a grinder match? Yeah. What you saw against the Galaxy, that's your typical playoff match. If you're built to play in that match, you're fine. If you're showing weakness now, we need to worry.
Absolutely.
Simple.
Gio says
you can't just blitz everybody off the field.
Gio says it looked like we went out there like we do in any other game, and that's the problem. These types of games, you got to play good football and play with a lot of balls. Also, Miller should have been benched. I think he was benched, or shouldn't have been benched. Maybe that's what he means. I'm not sure.
Well, Miller played.
Oh, Miller played. Oh, so he should have been benched. So he's saying that Cisnega should have been there.
Yeah, without a doubt. I agree. It's not the time to be nostalgic. You just got to use your hot hand and run with it. Lesson learned, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, getting lots of messages. I just wanted to really quickly say thank you to everybody that's saying congrats on the 100. We see them. We see all of you. If you want to throw some comments there like Gio just did, go ahead, and if you're on YouTube, send us some messages there on the chat, and we'll throw you up here. Because that was a good one. This is a very good point. You know, I'm in my head, Cisnega played this game because I'm already ahead. I'm already thinking ahead to the future. But you still have some more points to make, Joseph. So, yeah, sorry. I'll jump in once in a while and stop you, and I apologize. But it's just there's so much that we need to talk about. But so you're saying, you know, we're filling the midfield. So what was the next thing?
At the end of the day, it was one game on the schedule. We lost the game. And it hurt. So we're going to have to deal with this until mid-August. All of the stuff on the field, off the field. Elmanir's injury, that better be used as an inspiration. Okay. Zach, the most fun on the team, our goalkeeper coach, more fire than everyone else on the team in that situation. I don't know why it had to be him cussing out Zlatan. That should have been some of the players as well. That should have been a mob, okay? But it takes him to do it. He did it against Portland, too. All love to him because of the passion he shows for this team. It's in his heart. You could see it. We need to see more from other guys out there. We need it from our players too.
Yeah.
We have to show it. You see other teams mob in. We don't mob in. The only guy that consistently always does it, Dio, right? Dio always does it. But he can't be the only man to do it.
No.
Okay? What I'm going to say is this. It's frustrating. It sucks. We know the league dropped the ball big time. We have a player with a broken skull. That's the truth of it. If you're serious about player safety, if you're serious about injury protocols, if a guy gets destroyed like that, you have to do it. Sadly, it looks like the NHL is ahead of us now when it comes to the concussion and head. That it's crazy. time to wake up. You can't let players get destroyed like that. I don't know who hit me. It's about being mad about the Galaxy on the situation. It's more about the league not doing its part. Let him be him, but at least let the league do their job. Final thing is, take this frustration, every one of us, North End, all around the stadium, all around the city, take this frustration, get back to him when it comes time at the bank. Give your passion. Do it in a smart way, but be as loud as you have ever been, okay? Show up for that game. Show up early for that game. Show LA what we're about. This is our city. Let's remind them of that. They might have won one game. We own a city. Let's remind them that on game day.
Nice. I like that. Yeah, for sure. We have a few other comments on here. Al Hopkins, he says, offensively, we just had a bad and heavy touches that disrupted the flow of our attacks. Yeah, we had. Yeah, absolutely. We had very bad and heavy touches. We didn't look like ourselves. We didn't match their intensity. That was a big thing that I think Bob Bradley mentioned, right?
Yeah.
And then another message here from Monster Thruster. He says, yeah, we should have had some Pablo on the field. Our guys looked nervous. That's another thing is, yeah, they didn't look like they were up to the task. Almost like, you know, we were at that point, all the pressure was on us. It wasn't even on the Galaxy, and they knew that. So, yeah. Can we move on, though, please? I think
I want to
it's
get
time
back
we
to
talk about
happy
Atlanta.
times.
Yeah, because guess
the
what?
big picture is happy.
The big picture is very happy. At the end of the day, this game does matter because it's a rivalry game. Even so, I'm scared now to call it a rivalry, and I think I mentioned this on social media, on Twitter specifically. It's kind of one-sided right now, so I wouldn't call it a rivalry. And until we win a game,
have we earned the right to call it that?
I don't know. I don't think so.
You're right.
I don't think so.
Haven't earned it yet.
No.
In the stands, we certainly have. Right? In the stadium, we certainly have.
Yeah.
But on the field, nope.
And since you brought that up, the one thing that I will say about that, there was a lot of things that happened. There was a lot of confusion. Make sure that as supporters, if you're not a part of the 3252, don't make judgments on what is happening on the stands if you're not really aware or part of the communication and the planning that goes into some of these things. And yes, I'm talking about the camel. I'm also talking about the things that happen with the tickets. Get yourself involved with the 3252 before you start judging and assuming things. My nose is all clogged up, so if you hear a little bit of nasaliness, I apologize. But yeah, that's one of the biggest things is if you're not involved with the 3252, who are you to start making assumptions of things? Communicate. That's all I'm going to say about that, because there was just so many things that happened. And there was actually a lot of back and forth, not just with Galaxy fans, which, by the way, I had a lot of fun just muting everybody on Twitter. But the biggest thing that upset me was seeing LAFC supporters going at other LAFC supporters. And that's just because of misinformation, because you're not communicating with your supporter groups. And so if you know what I'm talking about, you know. If you don't, ask somebody. We ain't going to talk about it on the show. We were going to originally, but we just don't have time. If you have questions about anything, you can always contact us, and we're happy to talk to you guys off the pod. But it's just one of those things that rivalries will bring out the worst in people and also the best in some people. So there's that.
Yeah.
And you know, we showed in this upcoming game against Atlanta, or this game that just happened, I should say, against Atlanta, that we can get along with visiting supporters. All right, it's just something about the Galaxy, isn't it? It's craziness.
I mean, at no point have they ever been decent or quality with us. So, hey, it's life. Again, completely indecent attitude. I can't be nice about it, you know.
Yeah.
But Atlanta fans, pure class. Okay, they were amazing. And every supporter that I've talked to said the same thing. They represented their club with amazing pride and very honorable, very approachable, and they enjoyed having drinks and eating with us. So, yeah, it's great, you know. And from what I've heard from the guys that have been to Atlanta, Sam from FCFC, they treat us like gold when we go there too. So the Southern hospitality is legit, guys. It really is. So when we get a chance next year to go back there, yeah, make it a trip. It'll be worth your while.
Yeah, I agree. One thing that came through that I did want to actually highlight here on comments. Well, first of all, hey, Scarf, what's going on? Scarf from Defenders of the Bank says, congrats on the century mark. Just started watching tonight's episode. Just now? Come on, man. We're like 30 minutes in, dude.
Wow, bro.
Wow.
It's okay. That's all right. We still love you guys. So Gio said, I also think the Carson chant should disappear, which is the "Cómo te va, Carson? Cómo te va" one. And he said, for now at least. And this is something that is going to be very difficult for us to get through some people in the 3252 because my whole thing about that chant, and I think Joseph might agree on this too, is I'd rather concentrate on us and chant about us. However, the 3252 doesn't work that way. Not just one person or one group decides. It's voted amongst everybody. And so it was voted to keep this chant on. And it's a good chant. But the only thing that bothers me is it's highlighting another club. It's not about us. It's not about us. It's more about like chanting at a rival and taunting, which is part of the culture as well, by the way. So I'm not completely against it, but I understand where Joe's coming from. So Joseph, what do you have to say about that, sir?
It's a rivalry, and I love trash talk.
Well, there you go.
And especially in the stands. To me, I'm in the realm of, hey, they hate us, we hate them. Have at it. But the problem is our boys need to do it on the field to give us some ammo because it's really hard to be talking smack when your team just lays down on the field.
Yeah. All right. And check this out. Monster Thruster, he says, tonight it's time for a celebration. No negative thoughts. Happy 100 again. Cheers, guys. Cheers, Monster Thruster. I agree with you, man. And with that being said, Atlanta United. You ready?
Moving on. Yep, let's do this.
All right. The Los Angeles Football Club earned a thrilling 4-3 win over the reigning MLS Cup champions, the Atlanta United FC, on Friday night at a sold-out Bank of California Stadium. It didn't look sold out for a little while because we were having some problems with some tickets, but maybe we'll jump into that a little bit later. Four different LAFC players found the back of the net as the club extends its home unbeaten streak to 10 regular season games in 2019. We are unbeaten at the bank. Talk about defending the bank. 6 of the 7 goals came in a wild first half with the visitors opening the score sheet. 2 minutes into the match, Mohamed Adams. What a breakdown of defense. But let me get through this real quick, and then we'll talk about this. Okay, so moments after the half-hour mark, forward Adama Diomande would tie things up for the black and gold, tallying his 7th of the season. LAFC would tack on 3 more goals via Diego Rossi in the 38th, Carlos Vela in the 42nd, and Edward Atuesta going Hulk on us, 45th minute. And then Atlanta, of course, would score. Joseph Martinez had to get on the score sheet. You knew it was coming. He would cut LAFC's lead to 2 shortly before the half. This is 4-2 going into the half. And then Atlanta would score their 3rd of the night. 6 minutes into the restart, defender Eddie Segura deflected across into his own net. Unfortunately, that's what is that, 2nd or 3rd own goal for Eddie Segura? Just unfortunate.
He plays a little intense.
Just a little bit, which, by the way, also news on Eddie Segura today. Despite a flurry of chances for both sides, LAFC would take all 3 points, winning its 9th game at home and 15th overall in the season. 15th overall in the season. Man, we are kicking butt. It's been fun, man. This game was nerve-wracking. I'll say that much.
Yeah, it was.
It was so nerve-wracking. My voice is cracking because it was so nerve-wracking. No, seriously, it was. Dude, it was. This was me.
Wow.
Like the entire game, it was crazy.
Yeah, dude, this game flew. Honestly, this was the game that everybody loved to watch. Like it fit the bill. Battling, early scoring, resiliency on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
This was a battle. This was a heavyweight fight. Okay, you're playing the defending champs, and you're the rising stars. Okay, and it looked like it. We're coming out to hit, and they hit us first. They give us the bloody nose. So it's like, hey, what the heck? We got to wake up. And it took our guys about 10 minutes to figure themselves out. But once they did, man, they were firing. And so we were throwing haymakers all the way to halftime. And then, of course, Martinez reminds us that he's Martinez, right? The other Joseph, as I'll call him, right? Basically, dude, he shows what he does, right? And so he gets him back in the game because otherwise it would have been a blowout. If they don't get that goal in the first half, we run away with this game. But they woke up, they come out second half firing on all cylinders. You could tell they were going for broke for another goal. They had to score one early. They knew they had to score one early, and they threw everything they had at us. And amazingly enough, we absorbed very well under the circumstances. Yes, we had the own goal happen, but my word, the pressure they put on us for the rest of this match. I know we allowed 3 goals, but it could have been a lot more. And any other team in this league faces that kind of pressure from Atlanta United, they're going to lose this game.
Oh,
they're not going to hold on to it. Give our guys credit. They survived. They survived this match and got a much-needed win, something we desperately needed after the last result, to show that we can grind, we can battle, and we did. So a great showcase match for the league, great showcase match.
It was a great game. So let's jump into some stats real quick. So we had 16 shots. They had 11. Shots on target, we had 10. They had 3. Shots off target, we had 1 shot off target. They had 5. For block shots, we had 5. They had 3. And for some reason, that felt a little that stat feels a little off. I felt like they had more block shots. I don't know why, but I just feel like
I thought so too.
I feel like Brad Guzan really got worked that game. Maybe I was wrong. I don't know.
I didn't think he was all that hot for the match. I thought some of the goals were a little
Yeah.
One thing he was doing a lot of was diving before the shot even happened, which was kind of strange that he wouldn't just square up to the shooter. He was already trying to pick his shots before they happened. He's totally playing percentages on his attempts, and he looked silly half the time doing that. It's really weird that he would play that way because I know how good of a keeper he can be.
Yeah.
And to me, it looked like he was chasing the ball.
Yeah.
It was odd.
Yeah,
Very
it was
odd.
And then for fouls, we kind of even 15-14. We had 15. We had 1 more. Crosses 22-15. That was a good number as well. They had a few yellows. We didn't. They had 3 yellows actually. And then substitutions. This is where I thought this was interesting, right? We saw Lee Nguyen come in for Steven Beitashour, and then 30 minutes later we saw Dejan Jakovic come in for Diego Rossi. What was that? What was going on there, Joseph?
So it looked like Latif dropped back a bit. So in the first one, I think Beta's not healthy, not 100% yet, and they had to make a move. I really do think he's on limited minutes. I think he's still nursing that hamstring, and so he's got to be protected, especially with this long season. It's tough, especially knowing that we've got some injuries already. They can't lose anymore, so it's smart. The subs were a little weird, but they made sense under the circumstances. We needed cover. We needed to find a shift, and we were getting in trouble on that side. You can't let Martinez get free reign on a player that can't run at full clip.
Yeah.
Just can't do it.
Yep,
So,
I agree.
interesting thing to me, I noticed on this, weird, the passing game. The stats for that, they had 367 passes. We had 366. Accurate passes, 275 to 275.
Yeah. Very even.
I just think it's fascinating.
Yeah.
This is the lowest we've had all year. We were at 75. They were at 74. Talk about canceling each other out and taking chances. That's pretty much what this was, is just let it rip.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell. Long balls, they had 61. We had 47. Accurate long balls, they had 28. We had 13. Duels, here's another one, 120 to 120. You notice these stats just keep matching up with each other. It was a proper battle.
Yeah, it was a great game.
Dribble attempts, 28. Oh man, yeah, 28 to 17 for us. Aerials, they had 18 to 12. Interceptions, 10 to 9. To me, the stats are kind of a wash on this match. It just shows how evenly we played. To me, Dio stood out this match. First half from him, he had a pace that he hasn't really been using until now, right? I mean, there's something, you put a little extra Yeah, he also had an assist in the match. He doesn't get a lot of those. To me, it just looked like an inspired match. I think coming out of that Carson match, he had something to prove. And with the rumors swirling right now, it makes perfect sense that he's doing what he's doing. But the passion's there, the fire's there, and I love it when Dio plays that way.
Yeah, for sure. Poison Johnny just messaged us on YouTube here. Says, so when Jerry butts in, Joseph just know it's because of the choppy internet. Yeah. So he's making sure that you are aware that I am cutting you off sometimes because you're going choppy, and that's me trying to fill in some space. And what I'm doing is I'm muting you so that they don't hear you because your internet is very, very slow. So the next donations that we get, it's going to be to buy Joseph a better camera and buy him better internet service. That's what it's going to be. So thanks for that comment. But I want to make sure that, yeah, if you guys are watching this, that I'm totally on top of it. And I know that we're getting some choppiness, and it's I'm going to blame it also on my internet because I think that's partially has to do with it. And then Gio, dude, he said Gusan save on the Zimmerman header was crazy. Oh my gosh, that was nutty. And he said I was already starting to yell goal, which that was totally me too. What a save from Brad Guzan, showing his just his skills, man. That was a fantastic save. And then also Zimmerman, you can see it in his face. He's like, that was not supposed to happen. That was supposed to be inside.
He thought he had it.
Yeah,
he thought he had it for sure.
And then we have.
What else can we say?
Hey, real quick, LAFC highlight says the game was great. I was watching field side. All right, show off.
All good.
No, that's awesome.
All good.
Super cool.
I was behind the goal yelling at Guzan. That's just what I was doing.
Is that what you're? Yeah. Oh, that's right. You're usually up there in the north end.
Yeah.
So Defender says Beta didn't look happy coming out. Looked like Dejan was just to park the bus for the last few minutes. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't think Beta was. Well, I don't think Beta didn't look upset, but it looked like Bob Bradley had some things to say to him for sure.
Yeah, I don't think he's 100% yet. Honestly, there's an extra gear that he usually plays with, and he's not playing with it right now.
Yeah,
I think he's holding back a bit.
I agree.
I can't blame him. You know, if it's a hamstring, dude, those take forever to heal up, and if it goes, that's it. So I get it. I totally get it. Yeah. Maybe he goes back to the Dallas match. Let's be honest. Ever since the Dallas match, he's been laboring. So,
yep.
Yeah. Atuesta, gotta call him out as well. He battled. It looked good on his end. Passing accuracy wasn't as high as it usually is, but again, he was in a bit of a fight in there. So, understood. Walker, I thought Walker played a good game. Even though I know he let in 3 goals, guys, but he was still distributing well out of the back. I do think he needs to work on his communication skills with Cisniega. They're still not quite on the same page yet. You can tell it's still a little off. They need more time working together. And that brings us back to Cisniega. Poor guy, man. Like, he allows 3 goals. I honestly... a tough day at the office, man. I don't think he had a chance on any of those. He was down goals before he knew what hit him. I don't blame him for the first goal. That ball had
and there you go. You're cutting out, so I'm just gonna start talking about our updates real quick. Mohamed El Munir, as you guys know, was hurt this game. Hurt, to put it lightly. Actually, it looks like he went into surgery on the 26th, Friday the 26th, to repair a zygomatic arc fracture suffered during the Galaxy game. And unfortunately, it looks like the MLS disciplinary committee didn't think that that warranted any more any sort of any more like games missed for Zlatan or anything like that, which is ridiculous. I think we all agree that that he totally knew what he was doing. He's a professional. He's done that before. And it's just a bummer. It's just a bummer that to see that. Joe, now that we have you back, is there anything you want to say about the Al Munir foul?
Did you see the post from Don Garber?
No, I didn't. What do you say?
Absolutely pathetic. Basically, he said, didn't they notice we suspended more this year? So obviously we're not protecting him. My comment is, don't you create discipline and suspensions to get players to stop doing stupid things like this? And if they keep doing it, you give them bigger punishments to stop them from doing things like this.
Yeah.
And his attitude was, well, we suspended him already, so we good. That's pretty much where he put it.
Oh, okay, so since he's been suspended, he can do whatever he wants now. Is what they're saying, basically.
Yeah, it's like, oh, see, we've already done it. So you didn't notice. That was you guys didn't notice, but we've already been taking care of business with him. If you did, he wouldn't have done it. If he did, he wouldn't have gone after the referee in Portland. Right?
Yeah.
He wouldn't get in the middle of the mix.
Correct.
He obviously hasn't learned his lesson because guess what? He's running the league right now. He's calling it. He's pushing the league. He's bigger than the league thanks to those who run the league.
Yeah.
Good job, guys. You just belittled yourself. Congratulations.
What a bummer, right? It really is a bummer, and it's like because this isn't the first time that sort of thing happens, and that's where I think there's a lot of discrepancies in the way that they do things in MLS, and it takes away from the validity of a league and from like other people taking this league seriously because they're just not being consistent about anything that they're doing. One of the other things that I want to mention was Tristan Blackman is out and has been out with the right quad strain, so there's that. And so that's a bummer. We're missing him as well. Shaft Brewer was just apparently both the club and Shaft agreed to part ways, so we no longer have Shaft Brewer Jr. in our squad. Nico Hamalainen, I think we kind of might have mentioned it, but he's back to Queens Park Rangers, so he's now out. So again, missing a few people. Al Hopkins actually, here we go. He said, Blackman's out too. We had no choice but to use Blessing in the back. LAFC Vince. So Vince De La Rosa suggested that Lamar Batista is not ready. So Lamar still with Phoenix Rising, if I'm not mistaken. And so it sounds like he's not ready yet, especially with the way that we've been playing. Obviously, we'd have Blessing back over there. So
he's done it before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One other thing. I mean, we're missing a few people. Obviously, like I mentioned, Tristan Blackman. We had Javi Perez is going to be out the entire season with the ACL tear. But then also we had a couple of questionable players, which was Guido. Man, are we ever going to see Alejandro Guido? I don't know, but he's out with the right quad strain. That's a bad quad strain.
Dude,
injury.
when I was at training the other day before the Galaxy match, he wasn't even on the field. He was on an exercise bike the whole game. Yeah. He's still hurt, and quad strains, whatever strain it is, they don't come back till they're totally back. For Beta to be playing the way he is, it's risky, right? And usually you wouldn't do that with a player.
Yeah.
So it just shows the necessity of that position, right? So, as far as I'm concerned, if you're hurt, you're hurt. Get well. We'll be ready for you in the playoffs. And I think the injury he has, it can't be that much longer. So hopefully we get him back soon.
Yeah. It looks like he's actually with Lamar Batista is actually with FC Tucson. So thanks to
Tucson.
LAFC highlight says Lamar is with FC Tucson. And yes, he is on loan from LAFC to FC Tucson. So there it is. Okay. Thank you for the correction. Appreciate that. It's hard to keep up with all these, man. So I'm still looking back at a whole bunch of other players. I don't know if anybody even remembers Monday at Team Passé, but he is now with another club and he's in I think he's in Denmark. So
oh boy,
yeah, it's craziness. But now some good news.
Yep.
All right, Eddie Segura's contract signed. We now own him. He's no longer on loan to us. We went ahead and I think it's Atletico Huila was his old club. We are officially now, officially can count Eddie Segura as 100% black and gold. So very cool to see that. And then also Latif Blessing also had an extension to his contract recently. So
isn't that interesting? Going from weird rumors of him leaving to extending. Like, how awesome is that?
That's good. It's very good.
Dude, honestly, he's been an ambassador. I went to Athletes in the Making Casino night. That was the day after Carson. He showed up for that.
Yeah.
Dodger game. Not only did he show up and do the appearances, towards the end of the game, he actually showed up out in left field in the upper decks and just sat in the seats and let people come up to him and do autographs. And there was a line of autographs. So he's again making himself presentable to everybody. He's showing who he is, right? He is a part of this team. He feels it. He's all about community. So it's awesome to have him extend with us. We're
For
lucky
sure.
there.
Hey, Dr. Cacho, Mr. Josh, LAFC Josh, he's on here, and he said they never released a grade of quad strain. Potentially could have been a grade 2 or 3 tear, which could be a 3 to 4 months out. So that's in regards to,
Brutal.
yeah, that's in regards to Guido. So interesting, man. Yeah, that's crazy. Maybe
That's
even Tristan
serious
Blackmon,
stuff.
because he also has a right quad strain, right? Man, what a bummer.
Yeah, we don't know how serious.
We don't
so
know how
we
serious.
just have to. Yeah.
Um,
And then, of course,
yeah, go ahead.
shall we talk about the next one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Peñarol.
Peñarol.
We're
So-
going there?
I mean, sure, but before we do that, I wanted to mention there's a couple of people saying that they think we should get defenders here on the chat room. They're saying I feel we need some defenders in this transfer. I don't think we're getting defenders. What do you think, Joe? Do we need defenders?
I think we're running a triage unit right now with injuries, and so we might need to get one. Especially, I think there's a sign something might be on the horizon when you let Shaft Brewer go, because you know that he was one of our reserves on the right side.
Yeah.
Didn't have a good game when he played there, but he is one of our reserves. He's gone. So that opens up a spot. You got to wonder if that's a spot that's opened up for somebody new coming in. You got to wonder. I would. Like, you need help out there. And both our left back and our right back are putting in a lot of minutes. El Munir is injured. That means you're gonna ride Harvey all the way to the finish line with no substitutions, no backup options. That's
Apparently.
dangerous.
Yeah.
I love Harvey, right? But you're expecting a lot if you're going to let him just do his thing all the way through.
Yeah.
We're not going to get the most out of him if he doesn't get some rest.
No, I agree. Okay, let's jump into this because people are asking if we've talked about this before. So, no, we've been gone for a little while. Sorry to you guys. We haven't talked about this yet. Brian Rodriguez from Peñarol, okay, from Club Peñarol. Club Atlético Peñarol, to be exact, number 16. He's worn number 10 before, but he's number 16 currently, which, surprisingly enough, you know who our number 16 is?
Who's our number 16?
Look it up real quick.
Why I got to look that up?
Because
Why you got to do that to me, man?
No,
Now you
no.
gotta maybe look something up.
I mean,
All right.
all right. I can tell you who it is. It's Javi Perez. So I don't know if they're gonna battle it out for number 16, but is he coming? Yeah. Okay, so it's been reported, and this is what has happened so far. So this is what has happened so far. The press in Uruguay, like earlier last week, said Brian Rodriguez has been sold to LAFC for $11.5 million, and there's a couple of other like things going on in there where if Diego Rossi sells to Europe, they would get $2 million or something like that, and also that there was that we would be playing a friendly with them sometime.
Not one.
No. Well, first it came out that it was one, and then it's like all of a sudden, no, we're actually going to play 3 friendlies with these guys. First of all, if the Brian Rodriguez deal goes through at $11.5 million, that would be the second biggest ever transfer for any Uruguayan player, or actually Peñarol, I believe. And at first it was like it's the biggest one, but it's not actually. There was another one that was bigger than that, because technically it wouldn't be 11.5, it would be like 8 million, because once it's split up between everybody, it wouldn't be 11.5 million. And so anyways, there's a whole bunch of back and forth. First it happened, you had the treasurer of Club Peñarol go on radio in Uruguay, say, yes, this is what's gonna happen. Literally, like the following day, he's like, actually, it hasn't been finalized, And so, what's going on, Joseph? You have a little bit more experience with the way that sort of thing happens, because apparently this is not uncommon, right?
No, this is not the most shocking thing in the world. Until the pen meets the paper, it's not a deal.
Mhm.
We also heard the rumors that Thornton was down there, which I'm pretty sure that is the case. I think the problem was that the press, especially MLS, jumped too quickly on this. I have no idea why the league, who pretty much owns all of our teams, right, the franchises and everything,
Yeah.
why are they leaking stuff for a potential signing that could affect the league? I
Yeah.
have no idea. It's completely unprofessional.
Because MLS is gonna MLS. That's why.
Because they stink, right? We exist and we thrive in spite of them, and we all know that. So they're throwing up these rumors, which hurts us and can cost us more money. Dumb. Then they have competitive matches that they're playing. Brian Rodriguez is a critical player for Peñarol, critical player, and they had a big match on the weekend, and they have a big match this week. I believe it's on Wednesday. The last thing I want to talk about in these massive matches is, oh, by the way, this big Impact player, yeah, he's gone, but you should be thinking about this game. You're like, wait a minute. So an under 20 national player who's rumored to go to Udinese as well, who's bidding for him, is now leaving like that. Yeah, we're going to get him for the final two games. So, of course, there has to be this big up in arms issue with the fans down there because he's one of their star players.
Yeah.
So I think that hurt. And I think in many cases they needed to try to tamp it down a bit to get through the match on the weekend and get through the match on Wednesday. And then they can finally go, all right, this is what happened. Now it's a more stable time to do it. That would be the more respectful way for all parties to act in this.
Yeah, you're breaking up again. So
It's a little frustrating.
Oh, and you're coming back. All right, I'm gonna mute you there for a second until you come back. But one of the things that happened here, it says, LAFC highlights on the comments said Brian Rodriguez is coming to LAFC, or is coming to LAFC for sure. LAFC followed him already. Can you type really quick in the chat there, Mr. Highlights, where they followed him? Because I've been keeping up with that, and they haven't followed him on social media as far as I'm concerned, or that I have seen. But maybe I may be wrong. So where did they follow him? I'll tell you right now. He's coming. He's coming to LAFC, and I'm pretty much.
I think it's a deal.
I think it's a done deal. I think you can. I think I can say it with like 98% certainty that Brian Rodriguez, as soon as he's done playing this next game, he will be announced and he will be on his way to Los Angeles. And I think that was originally one of the things they had mentioned, is that he was going to play the final game against now I have to look it up, but there's this they're actually on a plane, and this is something that a lot of people were like, he posted a picture of him on a plane and everybody was freaking out, saying he was on his way to LAFC. Not quite I'm sorry, not quite what was happening. They're actually flying to Fluminense. They're playing a game tomorrow as time of recording, so on a Tuesday the 30th, at 5:30 p.m. They're playing against Fluminense in the Copa Sudamericana is what's happening. All right, and so that's leg 2 of 2.
Big.
Their aggregate right now, they're losing 2-1, so that's going to be an important game for them. So apparently he's going to be playing this game, and then that would be it. Do we know for sure, 100% fact? No, but everything is pointing in that direction.
Well,
So
it reminds me a lot of when we got Rossi.
Yeah.
Right? Diego Rossi, he'd kind of delayed us because he wanted to finish out the season with his boys and not be a distraction. So it's very similar how it's played out, and it makes perfect sense. How did we feel when the rumors for Vela to Barcelona popped up?
Yeah.
How apoplectic was everybody when that came out? We were losing it, right? It's the same thing. Could you imagine before an MLS playoff game that a Vela rumor pops up like the week of the match? Like, we're getting ready for this big game. It's against Carson in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. By the way, he's leaving you tomorrow. Like, dude, we'd lose our minds. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
It stinks. It should have been handled a different way, at least from MLS's standpoint. They should have shut up and stayed out of it. But they didn't. And so now we're here. I think we're getting him anyway. If we do, guys, this is big. And not just because of the player that we're getting, because he's a rising star for Uruguay. All right. He featured really well for the under-20s. He's already been targeted by European clubs. We're getting something big here. Like the upside on this player is huge. We wouldn't invest the money unless it wasn't already there.
Yeah.
Also, what I like even more, and I was talking to good old Monty about it and a few others. Think about the impact. Peñarol, not only are we signing him, but we're signing Peñarol to something bigger too. This is a team with an insane amount of history. Wanting to make a deal with a club that's only a few years old from us. You know our academy, how good they are. Okay? What would happen if one of our young players, rather than trying to crack the lineup with us when we're full of these offensive stars, gets a chance to crack the lineup down there first before coming back home?
How cool would that
and gets
be?
play time in that situation.
Yeah. That would be nuts, man. That would be craziness. I think that was one of the things that could have happened with Dortmund. I think that was initially kind of in talks, but it didn't quite work out that way. At least from my communication with the club and what's been going on there. You might know a little bit more about that, but yeah, it's interesting, man, and because I think it's not just getting a fantastic player in Brian Rodriguez, but also building a relationship with the club as historic in Uruguay as Peñarol, who has literally won everything. Go look at their crest; they have stars up the yin yang, like it's ridiculous, and it's because they produce fantastic players. And Uruguay, look at the national team. Uruguay is fantastic. I was listening today actually to in case you guys didn't know, Diego Forlan is Uruguayan, correct? And he was explaining how being Uruguay, where you're in between not just Argentina, but on the other side you have Brazil. So now you have to compete against two countries like Argentina and Brazil that are just, powerhouses when it comes to soccer, when it comes to football, national and international, and just the country. Just you hear that and you automatically attach football to that country. And so with Uruguay, they're like, well, we have to compete. We're like not even the size of freaking Connecticut, but we have to compete. So what are we gonna do? Is it's just in their blood. They're just born into it, and they dedicate their hearts and souls. When they're young, they already know I'm going into a club. I'm going to be a footballer, and that's exactly the school that Brian Rodriguez is coming from. That's exactly the school that we can send some of our players, hopefully someday, academy players, to go over there and learn from the best. That in itself is exciting, man. That is just amazing.
Could you imagine an American or potential U.S. national player that has the grit of Uruguay national player? They are the grittiest team in the World Cup every year. They really are.
Yeah. It's fantastic. And so, okay, so LAFC Highlights was saying that actually Brian Rodriguez followed LAFC, which I just checked, and sure enough, he did. LAFC hasn't followed him yet. I think LAFC is being a little bit more cautious, but it looks like Brian Rodriguez actually followed LAFC along with following, go figure, following Diego Rossi and following Alex Morgan. Interesting. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
World champion, future teammate. All good.
Yeah.
We have to put some weight into the fact that the U.S. Embassy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Thanks for bringing that up.
Put it out there. I mean, that's. Yeah, we've heard the term fake news, but this, I don't know, man. It takes a lot for them to even acknowledge soccer exists, right? And to be throwing that out there and congratulating him. Maybe they know something about work permits we don't know, guys. But they would have to deal with that, so they might know a little more than us.
Yeah.
But I think that one to me added the most weight. Like, okay, if they're gonna say it, then what they're gonna, make fools of themselves and put that out there. So I think that one to me kind of confirms things. And who would have known we had to look for scoops from the embassy, but that's what's going on.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us. I mean, there's really not much to add. That's pretty much all the information you guys need. By the time we get off of this recording, I promise you, just our luck, LAFC is going to announce Brian Rodriguez is going to be done. No, that's not happening. So he's playing a game tomorrow. He flew with the team. He's going to play. They're going to wait. They have to respect that. So once he's done playing, sometime after Tuesday, I could almost guarantee you they're going to be announcing Brian Rodriguez, which, again, hopefully we're not jinxing it. I don't think we are. I don't think anybody feels that way. The rumor started in Uruguay. If you guys remember properly, when Diego Rossi was being rumored, that also started in Uruguay. That rumor was all over the press over there before it made its way to the U.S. And that's what we even heard. We were like, ooh, what's going on? So, the embassy. Come on, guys. It's going to be interesting. We definitely need to plug in the embassy now. Said the Poison Johnny said,
I gotta follow
we
these
need to
guys.
plug in the embassy. Yes, we do. Gosh.
You know what I'm thinking, right? Because 3 friendly matches. I
That's
gotta
a
get
lot.
that passport and keep it updated. Because could you imagine 3252 taking a trip to Peñarol?
Woo-wee. That'd be
Dude, that
crazy.
was my mind on that one. That's some history
Man.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it with the LAFC and teams that have black and well, they say it's black and gold, but it's yellow. Come on. But what's going on there? I mean, first it was Dortmund.
Real knows real.
Oh,
I don't
guess
know.
So. It's like, listen, you don't
Yeah.
even have to make that much of a change. Your jersey basically looks like ours. So cool, good stuff.
Yeah.
And with that being said, I'm hoping that the stripes come into play sometime in future
Wanting 'em
jerseys.
forever.
Dude, those black and yellow Peñarol jerseys are amazing. They're beautiful. Okay.
Yeah, I want one.
I know. I posted it on Twitter on my person. I was like, can somebody get me one? Do you know where to get one? Still looking. I'll keep you guys updated on that. But if Brian Rodriguez comes, I'm getting a Rodriguez jersey. That's almost, yeah. Or Rossi, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, I know. And then once it happens, we got to talk about how they're all going to fit together out there. Ah, beautiful things. Beautiful things.
All right, guys. We are getting well past our time here. So thank you guys for hanging out. Actually, if you guys want to continue listening to us, we're going to record episode 101. We're going to take a quick break. We are going to record 101 tonight. So if you guys want to find us, it'll be somewhere live on YouTube. You're just going to have to go to our page and find it. I'm not going to link it. You'll have to do some work if you want to hang out. It's already 10 o'clock. Episode 100 will go up, and 101 will go up sometime on Wednesday or Thursday. Probably Wednesday. And we're going to be talking about the MLS All-Star Game as well as the New England Revolution away game. So stay tuned for that. This was fun, man. Episode 100. Here's to many more. We're going to do some events hopefully soon. We tried to do it for this one. Didn't quite work out. We just had way too much going on at home. Joseph luckily had some time to where he could get some stuff figured out at home as well. And look at that beautiful background now that he has. So, Joseph, anything you want to add before we call it a night, man?
We went from darkness to light in this episode, and let's keep that light very bright.
Yeah.
Gosh, we have so much to talk about in 101. Again, good things, happy thoughts, guys. We're still in first place. We're on pace to be in the history of the league in terms of performance on points. If we keep this pace, Carlos has a chance to get the best goal scoring record ever in MLS. We're still on pace for that. Enjoy the ride.
Nice. Hey, the Poison Johnny on wow.
Wow.
So he's saying
Wow.
Can Joseph do the outro one time?
Wow, bro.
Wow.
I would, but I'd probably jack it up. Jerry's got a way about this, man. Like, again, he's the man, right? Jerry's the man. He's the podfather. Do you really want to unseat the podfather from the end?
No, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna take 100,
Just
Johnny.
saying.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm taking it because this is a big 100. He'll do the 200. All right, we're gonna warm him up to that one.
There it is.
So
There it is.
that's it, man. That has done it for us. We're gonna call it a night for episode 100. Actually, not calling it a night. We're gonna do 101. But for episode 100, that's it. Again, thank you guys so much for your support. We love you guys. We do this for you guys. We do this for ourselves as well because we love this club. We love this community. We love the black and gold. And from the bottom of our hearts, Truly, we thank you guys. Thank you for being a big part of this. Without you guys, there would be no us. And we hope to be continuing to do this for many, many, many more. For Mr. Joseph Sacker, my name is Jerry Jimenez. You have been listening to the Heart of LAFC podcast. Stay golden.
Thank you for listening to the Heart of LAFC. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. Shoulder to shoulder, the black and gold is taking over.